from South Korea. My name is Alicia. My Korean name is Jaeyoung. So I use English name for people to remember me easier here in the United States. And this outfit that I'm wearing and my husband's wearing is called hanbok. You said it, hanbok?
Hanbok.
Yes. So that's Korean's traditional costume or outfits, and these are a little bit fancier than the normal people wore a long time ago because we got this for our wedding. So we wore this for our, we didn't marry it, but we wore this after we finished our ceremony. We wore them, then say hi to everybody who came to our wedding. And anybody knows where Korea is? I wish I had the.
I have a map.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
Asia. It's like North
Yeah, it
Korea
is in
and South
Asia,
Korea.
right?
Yeah. Is it close?
Yeah. What's the closest country in Korea?
North Korea.
North Korea. Yeah, it's part of my country. And another country?
South Korea, North Korea. Europe.
China. Somebody said that China is right next to Japan. Japan, right? So we have long history between Japan and China. So this is China, this big country, and here's Japan, and this is my country. It's a pretty small country.
South Korea.
Yes, I'm from South Part, and I don't know if anybody knows the political issue between North and South. So we have walls about 60 years ago. So my country is separated. We are praying for the unity again coming soon. And we, on Christmas Day, what we do is actually nothing much. Gathering with the family. It's not a big holiday in Korea. There are two big holidays in Korea, which is something similar with Chinese New Year's. So we call it Lunar New Year's, and then we have here Thanksgiving. So we follow the lunar calendar, and then the full moon in September or either early October. That's the season that we celebrate our Thanksgiving. So those are the biggest two holidays, and we wear these outfits on those days. But on Christmas, because Christmas came from Western countries, we got affected a lot by America and other European countries. So we just wear normal outfit. Christian people go to church and they do have their service on the very Christmas morning. And a lot of churches actually have early morning prayer meeting, especially on the very Christmas day, because Jesus was raised from the grave early in the morning that day.
That's right.
So we try to remember that at the same time. So we get together in church around like 4:30, 5 in the morning.
Yeah, they are really strong prayer warriors.
We have our candles, and then remembering Jesus' resurrection on the same day that he was born. He was not born on the Christmas day, but we remember that. And then we pray together and thank God for sending Jesus Christ to the earth. So that's how Christian people celebrate their Christmas, going to church and having service with other Christian friends, and then maybe having lunch together. Yeah, so that's how we celebrate our Christmas in Korea.
That's mine too. Hi, I'm from Brazil. You know we're at, if you have a globe, if you had a ball, I could explain better. But let's suppose it is a ball. Okay. And we live here up in America. Brazil is down. So we have the largest part, equator. So I live in South Hemisphere. So right now there is very hot. It's summer. When you have winter here, we have summer there. And when you have summer here, we have winter there. But anyway, because I live close to equator, it's always hot. So this is a typical dress we use in Brazil. And a little simple than that can be an everyday dress. But more in the country. Because in the city, we dress like people here. So earlier, I was using red shirt and a white pants. that's what city people from city uses at Christmas time in Brazil. I'm gonna show you some pictures, and you see it's pretty much like people, the clothes from here. Ladies like to use, mamas like on the 40s, who has kids, or they like to use colorful dresses like these. It's very common too, and they can use that for Christmas. So, we have basically all the same things than here. We have Christmas tree, we have all decorations and lights, but it's more simple than here. At church, we have cantata, that means the choir singing, and you have plays about nativity. I brought a picture, then I'm gonna pass for you. And this is my husband and I. We are playing Mary and Joseph at church. My son was crying a lot that day because I was holding a doll, like making baby Jesus. And he just stopped crying when he got the baby. He was so jealous that day. Yeah, but we have choir, like children choir. You see my daughter was singing here. And we have the adult choir on Christmas Day. Yeah, we do. No, we do on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is our big celebration. So we're going to church, we listen to the choir, and then we come back home and eat around midnight. I do not like that. My mama always used to do supper before. The food is similar to here. We have the turkey, like we have here. We have the cake. Oh, there is something very traditional. It is the fruits. Can you see here the fruits? You also see the shirts you use, the kind of clothes you use. Because it's so hot. I was here pregnant of my son. You see the amount of fruits? We always do a pretty, I would say, tray with fruits, fruit trays. And we have papaya, pineapple, mango, and also grapes.
So Adriana was nice enough to let me borrow hers.
And that's from Japan too. Was my Japanese friend gave to me.
Her Japanese friend gave this to her. So this is not my kimono, but I will show you my kimono. And I think I'm going to use.
She's gonna be.
Alisa will
model.
Alina. I'm sorry, Alina. Thank you. Alina is going to be my model. Okay. So, just to let you know, this is a map of Asia, right? So up here we have Bhutan and we have Nepal. See that? Bhutan and Nepal. And Alicia already told you that South Korea is down here, and across this little sea, which is called the Sea of Japan, is the nation of Japan. It's a string of islands. The main island, the big island, is where most of the people live. Okay? On that island, this is a bigger picture of Japan. Okay? This right here is Tokyo. Tokyo is the capital of Japan, and there's millions of people that live there. Just south of Tokyo is a little town called Yokosuka. Can everybody say Yokosuka? Yokosuka. That's where Miss Franco was born.
Oh!
So you can see where I was born. And then my mother was from the second largest city in Japan called Osaka. Okay, that's the second largest city. That's where my mother was from. My mother was samurai class, which would be like a lord or lady in England, right? They're royal class. So my mother was raised on a giant estate, and her father was what we would call the the head of all of the firemen in Osaka. He had a very important position. And his brother was the royal horticulturist, which is the gardener, which is a high honor in Japan because their gardens are an art form. And it's called bonsai. Have you heard of that? Bonsai? Where they cut the trees and they do this, they do all of this special stuff. Their gardens are, like the South, gardens are very big, but in Japan they're huge. So if you go to the Kyoto, which is the ancient capital of Japan, you'll see all of the temples and the castles there, and they have beautiful gardens there. But he was the imperial gardener for the emperor of Japan back in the day. So anyway, that's where I'm from. My mom, by this time, when my mom was 13, World War II broke out and the Americans came and took over Japan after the war. The Japanese had surrendered, Americans came in and they redid the government, and so there was no more emperor. He's more like Queen Elizabeth now. He's a monarch, but the country actually has, like England, they're modeled after the English government, so they have a prime minister and all of that now. But anyway, and back in those days, Mama would tell me that you could not look at the emperor because they considered him a god. So you had to bow down. You could, even the samurai class couldn't look at his face. So when he would come down the street, you have to bow. So this way you see Japanese go like this a lot. This is how they greet, right? So anyway, but my mother, when we were little, she got us traditional Japanese costumes. Now this costume would probably cost somewhere about $200,000 in today's money. It was very expensive back in the day, but it's made out of pure silk, and my sister and I still have our original kimonos. But this is the headpieces, which when we were kids we played with them a lot, so they got lost. So I don't have the original headpieces, but this is what the headpieces that we would wear on our hair. So we would take our hair, and our hair was long. We never cut our hair, and we'd wrap it up in a bun and put it on top, and then they would put these beautiful picks, and they were usually flowers hanging down, okay, off of the head. So that one was very similar to mine. And then this little girl is wearing a kimono that's very similar to mine. This one right here. So if you can see, she has these little slippers and these little sandals where you just put your toe in there, like you guys wear. Mine was made out of wood, and I no longer have it, but they're called zoris, okay? And then this is the kimono, and when my mom would put me in it, she'd put all the layers on it, and I couldn't barely even breathe because they put it real tight around here, and then you have to walk like this. It's so tight on the bottom. So anyways, it weighed a lot too. So there's a bunch of sashes there, and then the middle belt is called the obi. So let me show you what it looks like. I'll show you mine. So we're going to let Alina put it on, and we're going to show you how it goes. So this is the silk kimono. There's an underlining. It's very old. So, okay. Can you put your hand through there? No. Watch out. Your hand goes here.
Oh. So there's a
straight.
Small hole. Oh, right.
Yes.
That's so cute.
So this is a pure silk kimono, and this was mine.
How much does it cost?
Back in this probably would run about $100,000 to $200,000 today, if you were to buy it. A pure silk kimono. Because silk is very rare. It's made with little worms that make it, and you need a lot of silk to make something like this. That's why it's so expensive. Okay, and in here, like this one, you see, you wrap it. There's a hole, and the sash goes through there. So you tie you wrap the inner one, and then you poke it through. But I'm just gonna I haven't worn this in so long I don't even remember. Let me see where the... Anyways, I'll just wrap it around just to show you. But you would wrap it around and it would come out, oh, well, I'm just gonna put it through here just to show you, just because, like I said, I haven't done this in years, so I don't remember that good. Okay, turn around. Okay, turn around. Okay. Tie in the back.
Alicia is ordering $100,000.
Can adults
It's
wear
Elena.
them by themselves or they
Yes.
still need help?
Yeah, they could.
Why?
Yeah, but I think it'd be difficult to do it. But anyway, so she's a this I got this when I was 4, so she's a little taller than me.
Can they do that big waistband by themselves?
No, my mother would all put it on
Has to be
for
done
us.
by somebody else.
So then you wrap this around. This goes. You wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. I'm not going to wrap it. I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like. So the back isn't going to look all that pretty because you have to wrap it around and wrap it around and wrap it around. You do layers and layers and layers of that.
Then they have that big square look in the back of it.
Yeah. And then this is the obi.
Oh, I see.
So this goes in the back, and of course this would all be covered up because the mother would wrap it really good, and the obi goes in the back, and then this comes up front. And the back would look something like this, okay? See the back, and so it's really ornamental and real pretty. This doesn't look the way that it should, but I'm not an expert in making them. But anyways, and then this would be the front and how the front would look, okay? And then you would, and this would also go in the front. Uh-oh. The obi's falling down. Okay, let's pretend that it's on. All right. Now she doesn't have all the layers on, but if she did, it would be really tight on her because they do it really tight. And then this goes in the front. So that makes it really pretty. And then you tie it in the front. So, and then you put a fan here. So you can take your fan out, you go like this, and open it up. You do your fan. And then here, you have a little ornamental thing here, which is, if you look in this picture, you can see it. Mine are lost, but you see this is the little rope that I have here. See that? And then inside here, you can see she's got a fan, and let's see, where's it? Yeah, she's got a fan stuck in here, and she's got her little square thing, which I used to have. It's a little square thing that you put in there too. So, but it's very ornamental. There's lots and lots of layers. And then you have to wear your shoes. That's the whole 9 yards, okay? So that's the traditional kimono. Now in Japan is, and then this goes inside there too. So it's layers upon layers that go underneath there. Thank you, Alina, for being my model. Thank you for being a nice little Japanese girl today. All right. In Japan, Christians are a minority, like Christians are a minority in Nepal. It's probably less than 2% of the population because most Japanese are Buddhist. And they have big Buddhist temples, so they don't really celebrate Christmas. Actually, they didn't know anything about Jesus until the Christian missionaries came, and actually even until after World War II, because that's when the Americans came in that you really started to see Christianity preached in Japan. The Christians, so there's and then there's the Shinto religion as well, which is a smaller minority, but most of the people are Buddhist. So Just like we pray for Nepal, we need to pray for Japan and Korea too, because we need a lot more Christians in those countries. Okay? All right. Ms. Sylvia, you want to share?
Kocho Ota, the Japanese preacher that led me to the Lord. My family is from Germany, and I have visited there 2 weeks in my life. You usually see the women with an apron on, and the main food is cheese. When we were there, we had cheese and kind of a lunch meat and bread to make a sandwich for breakfast. For lunch at noon, we had a little something different. But at night, at the evening meal, we had cheese and lunch meat and bread. And then about 10 o'clock, they came along to our room with a tray of cheese and meat and bread. So 3 times a day we ate cheese. And we saw a cheese factory when we visited there, and their cheese is a big round circle. So they cut, and they have different kinds, but you cut off these chunks of cheese. And you always see the women with a skirt. But there's a lot in our Christmas that's from Germany. One is the Nutcracker. And so you open his mouth, and you put the nut in there, and then you push his tail of his coat down, and you crack your nut. And there's a beautiful Christmas musical called The Nutcracker. Have you ever seen that? And the Nutcracker stands by the bottom of the Christmas tree, and he has a fight, isn't it, with a big mouse, a big rat? Yeah. And he wins the battle, Nutcracker does. And he gets the beautiful girl. And there's all kinds of dancers. There's the Spanish dancers and different countries of dancers that come and sing in the Nutcracker. And so the Nutcracker is a very big item in around Christmas. How many of you know the song, "Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches"? And that in German is O Tannenbaum. And that song came from Germany. And some of our carols, and I don't know how many, I didn't look it up. I think Silent Night is a German Christmas carol.
It is.
And so a lot of our Christmas tradition comes from Europe, a lot of it from Germany. And so our family got here, I can't think of it. My great-grandfather's from North Germany, and my great-grandmother's family was from South Germany, but she was born in New York. And she and my great-grandpa met in New York, and they came out to South Dakota and got some land. If you lived on a piece of land for 5 years, it was yours. And so they had these grants from the U.S. government. And so all you had to do was go out and live on the land and work it. So that's what my grandparents did. And they had a big farm. And then they moved to downtown and let somebody rent their farm. So we were all in town. But there's different things from Germany. We didn't eat the food from Germany. There's one lunch I could have brought. How many of you have ever heard of sauerkraut? You've heard of sauerkraut? You take your cabbage and you chop it up real small, and you put vinegar in it until it gets real strong, and then you cut up hot dogs and put it in the sauerkraut. I don't really care for it, so I didn't bring it. This is what the little boys wear, but it's usually a dark green, and it's called lederhosen. And it is cute, and you see even boys 10 12, 15 wearing lederhosen, but they're dark green. But they got the flowers on the straps. And I think they just wear those for holidays. So, how many of you have taken your family has gone up north of Charlotte into the mountains? Have any of you been up into North Carolina mountains?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, that's what Germany looks like. It's very hilly, very green, and there's one section called the Black Forest. And it's just full of evergreen trees that a lot of the time just look black because they're so thick. But it's just like North Carolina, and it's just beautiful. When you go up by the Blue Ridge Parkway, any up there, Statesville, north of Charlotte, where it starts to get real hilly, that's what Germany looks like, where we were. Now, I wasn't all over Germany, but in the part that we were in, that's what it was like. And so Germany has a big thing to do. We have a lot to thank Germany for our Christmas. And I'll be joining you later to tell you the Christmas story. And so we'll be doing that in flannel graph. But maybe you'll get a chance to see the nut.
These two are from Brazil. This is a Japanese salad. This is Korean sweet snacks. Right here, these. And then, of course, American food. And happy birthday, Jesus cake.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Chandra channel.
Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, boss. Dress like a Nepali.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Seven K1. Simon, you know your verse?
Verse?
Yeah, what is your verse?
Pray your verse. Pray at all time and love is so slow. And love is kind.
Love is kind, oh wow. Where is it?
You got it? Is that kind?
Your favorite salad? Okay. Anisha, yours?
And this.
It's a Korean food. Try it.
No.
खानुपर्छ.
Try it.
Carnivores are 여기 소리. Oh, that's from Korea.
Yeah.
You guys need to try everything on your plate.
No, first we're gonna taste the cola. Oh yeah, okay. He died in the cross. I love chicken.
Okay, shh. Miss Sylvia's going to tell you a Christmas story. And you guys all be quiet, please.
Our Bible is divided into Old Testament and New Testament. In the Old Testament, God spoke to men they called prophets. And he told them, God told them through these prophets what was going to happen in the future. So they knew that sometime some woman was going to have a baby. And she wouldn't be married. And this would be God's son that would do this. So one time, an angel came to a young woman named Mary. And I'll read to you what he said. Now you listen. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain. Jesus Christ is born. And I always think of the fall when I sing that song because of all the mountains there, how the people over there need Jesus. Okay, well thanks for listening and we'll let you go. Okay?
Okay, we're gonna make this quick. Miss Adriana is gonna have to leave and we're running out of time. So, I need everybody to get in these chairs real quick first. Listen. All right, I'm gonna read a story. It's a Christmas story. And show me your right hand. Show me your left hand. Okay, so when you hear the word right, you need to pass to the right. Okay, so if you have something in your hand, you need to pass it to the right every time you hear the word right. And then if you hear the word left, pass it to the left. Okay, so here's the Christmas story.
Polar bear. She got a Yeti as well.
Here's Tor.
Yeah. What? Look neat.
I'll get you another one in a minute here.
I'm snowman. Oh, let me look at my naughty list. Who's doing that? Hi.
Here.
What's up? Do you have the look.
Oh my god. Sisters for life. Whenever I wear something bad, right? Like, I told you I'm gonna kiss you. You know the feeling? Like this little, and you keep itching.
Okay, here you go.
I know, right? That's what I feel right now. Is it right? Does it feel like that?
Yeah.
Itu air mirna. Itu air na. Itu air na mati kamera na.
on Grandma's right porch. I'll go over there right now. Get it, she said, and left in a rush to get across the street to Grandma Wright's house. Father Wright left the kitchen and brought in the Christmas tree and set it across from the fireplace. By the time Sue Wright had returned, Mother Wright, Father Wright, and Billy Wright were trimming the tree.
Look at Marisa has to.
The entire Wright family sang Christmas carols while they decorated. Then they hung a cross on the porch, on top of the porch branch. Okay, they left all the presents and went across the room to admire the twinkling lights. As they drifted off to sleep that night, the Wright family hoped that they had all selected the right present for their family. Now, I hope you have the right present.
You like mermaids? You're a girl. She has one.
Okay, is there anything else that you want that you might want to switch with somebody?
I'm so sad.
Does anybody else want to switch? You want to switch? Okay, Sajid, you have a choice. You want to switch? Okay. All right, anybody else want to switch or pray every day or pray when? All the time, very good. All right, go punch a hole and you get whatever you stick your, just pick one, punch your hole in it. You want that one? Okay, pull the present out. Okay, there you go. All right, next.
Barely putting on, arranging hair, putting on gold, putting on fine apparel, but rather letting it be the heavy person on the heart with incredible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which are very precious in the sight of God.
Beautiful. They did 6 of them. Good girl. Okay, go ahead.
Ask and you will receive, search and you will find, and knock and the door will be open for you. Matthew 7:7. Yes.
All right. Yay. Got all 6 of them. All right.
Happy birthday, dear Jesus. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, we have 33 candles because Jesus lived.
Bob?
33.
Can you come take some pictures?
Okay. All right, everybody come over here.
So, do you know what it says on here? Happy birthday, Jesus. Yes. We want Bob to take a picture quick before we blow out the
Everybody
candles.
can take a deep breath and get
Come
ready to blow out the
behind me.
candles together. Okay. All right, get around the table. Get around the table, everybody. Come on. Simone, stand up. Okay. Okay. Ready? One more time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesus. Happy birthday to you.
Sandia, look this way.
Good job.
Sandia, look this way.
All right. Yay! Okay, you guys can have some cookies. You can have a piece of cake, and I've got candy for you.